We're going to get to meteorologist Dana Osgood. Dana, as you've seen in a lot of the live shots throughout the show, it seems that at least in the southern half of the state, the snow is starting to wind down.
Exactly. So this low is becoming a little bit weaker overnight tonight. We're going to start to pull in more of that dry air, and that means we're going to start to get areas that aren't going to be seeing any precipitation for a few hours and some more spots that are going to be starting to clear out. But this system is really going to linger throughout the rest of the week. Here are some of our snowfall reports. These are as of 5 p.m. I switched out a few to hopefully get some more of your towns in there. But the highest numbers that I could find up in Shapley, 21.5 inches, especially areas away from the coast in western Maine is where we've seen the highest snowfall totals. A lot of people over a foot there. Closer to the coast, a little bit less so, and in areas in far northern and eastern Maine where they've been snowing for the least amount of time. However, it's still snowing in a lot of areas of the state, which means these are not our final numbers, and we're expecting to tack on at least a few more inches in areas that are going to keep snowing for the next few hours. Now, we mentioned that we are starting to see some breaks in this system. It's starting to weaken a little bit, so we're going to see some areas that kind of have precipitation move out of their area, at least for the time being, because this system isn't going to completely move out until we get into the weekend. So we're going to become more scattered in terms of our snowfall overnight. I mentioned southern York County is one of those areas. Some breaks in the precipitation up in northern Maine, north of Rumford and Berlin, and along the down east coastline, starting to see some breaks here too. But in areas that are still snowing at this time, got some pretty heavy snowfall, especially moving into areas in northern Maine, northern Washington County. So we're still going to tack on a few more inches of snow overnight tonight. So this area of low pressure is just off the coast here, and this is a pretty traditional location for a classic nor'easter here, and it's going to linger throughout the next few days, kind of continually throwing moisture back into our area, which is going to cause these rain and snow showers to linger both Friday and Saturday. Our winter storm warnings here in pink, all of the areas shaded in pink there, and this is in effect until tonight at 8 p.m. So once this system continues to move overnight tonight, we're going to start to see some more breaks, especially along the coastline. So some of that heavier snow will push into areas in northern Maine and back into the mountains. And then Friday and Saturday are both what I would describe as unsettled. We're going to see these kind of scattered rain and snow showers, especially Friday morning throughout the afternoon. It's going to look very similar Friday afternoon as Saturday afternoon. Very cloudy skies, kind of dreary when there isn't precipitation falling, and then in areas of kind of light snow both throughout the day, Friday and Saturday. Some areas of rain closer to the coastline because our temperatures are going to be creeping upward as we go throughout the weekend. And it takes until Sunday for us to finally break out of this system. We'll start to dry out a little bit and we'll start to lose some of that cloud cover. Now, one of the big ticket items that's caused a lot of the power outages here has been the wind. Now, at this point, we've passed our peak wind speeds and are going to continue to start to loosen as we go overnight, or lessen, excuse me. So tonight, wind speeds about 30 to 35 miles per hour, and then as we continue to go overnight, that'll start to lessen once we get into the day Friday. It's still going to remain breezy both Friday and Saturday on the back end of this system, but it's going to start to lessen so we can allow those power crews to get out there to restore power, and people can get out there and start to do some cleanup. Once we get into Sunday and Monday, once this storm finally moves out of our area, that's when we'll completely lose the wind factor. So in terms of our marine forecast, we do have that gale warning in effect until 1 a.m. because we do still have those gusty winds offshore and some of those higher swells, which has caused a little bit of coastal flooding in some areas. So in terms of our 7-day forecast, this storm is going to dominate the rest of the week because it's still going to linger both Friday and Saturday, some of those scattered rain and snow showers, but our temperatures are gradually going to increase, so we're not expecting a lot of accumulations once we get past tonight. And then once we get into Sunday, we start to lose this system. We lose both the clouds and the precipitation. And the beginning half of next week looks really good. Temperatures getting into the 50s. And guys, that eclipse forecast, we've been saying it almost every day this week, but it looks fantastic.
Yeah, Monday is going to feel really nice.
Yes, it's our light at the end of the tunnel, our prize.
Yes, thanks so much, Dana.